Ethan's ship glided silently through the violet skies of Zythera, the planet's twin suns casting long streaks of light over the dense forests below. The air shimmered with energy, and strange luminescent plants swayed gently in the warm breeze. He had never seen a world like this, so alive, so full of color. Yet he felt a strange calm, as if the planet itself recognized his presence and welcomed him. He checked his instruments, noting the unusual readings in the forest below. His mission was simple: observe the native life, document it, and provide aid if necessary. But unlike the rest of his team, who were armed and prepared for any threat, Ethan carried only a small medical kit and a few scanners. He wasn't a fighter. He was a healer, someone who believed that compassion could overcome danger. As he landed his small exploration pod on a clearing, a sudden rustle in the nearby trees caught his attention. He froze, listening carefully. There was a soft, strained cry. Human ears would have thought it was a small animal, but Ethan knew it carried a different weight. It was urgent, desperate. Without hesitation, he sprinted toward the sound, navigating the thick underbrush. In a small grove, partially hidden by towering ferns, he saw her. The figure trapped under a fallen tree was unlike anything he had seen before. Her skin shimmered with shades of blue and silver, and her eyes were wide, expressive, and full of pain. She tried to move, but the weight of the tree pinned her down. Ethan's heart raced, not out of fear, but because he instinctively knew he could help her. "Stay calm," he said softly, approaching her. "I'm here to help." The alien looked at him, her large eyes narrowing with caution. "Who are you?" she asked in a voice that was melodic yet strained. "I'm Ethan," he replied, kneeling beside her. "I'm a healer. I can help you." The princess, though proud and regal in her posture even while trapped, seemed unsure. Her world was not used to humans, or at least not to one standing in front of her now, ready to help. But the pain in her leg was real, and she realized she had little choice. Ethan quickly examined her injury. The tree had crushed her leg, leaving deep bruises and a twisted joint. Carefully, he used his portable scanner to assess the damage, then improvised a splint using the surrounding wood and vines. His hands were gentle but precise, moving in ways that conveyed both skill and care. "You're human," she murmured, a mix of wonder and disbelief in her voice. "You can understand." "My biology? I've studied many forms of life," Ethan said, trying to calm her. "Your body is different but not impossible to help." He applied a healing serum he had prepared for unusual cases. It smelled faintly of herbs and minerals, and as it touched her skin, a subtle warmth spread. The princess flinched, but soon a small sigh escaped her lips. "The pain lessened. You saved me," she whispered. "I'm going to make sure you're safe first," Ethan said. "Then we can talk." Over the next few days, Ethan worked tirelessly. He built a temporary shelter in the grove, using leaves and flexible branches to create a canopy. He gathered edible plants and water, always cautious not to harm the delicate balance of the forest. He tended to the princess's wounds, cleaned them, and applied his remedies. At night, he stayed awake, monitoring her breathing, checking for signs of infection and talking softly to her to keep her spirits up. Lyra, the princess, observed him silently at first. She had grown up in a palace filled with luxury and power, surrounded by those who bowed and obeyed. Yet here was a human, small, fragile by her standards, and entirely alone, who dedicated himself to her recovery. She felt a strange admiration for him, an unfamiliar respect. "Why do you do this?" she asked one evening as he adjusted the splint on her leg. "Humans are not strong like Varelians." "You could have left," Ethan smiled faintly. "Being strong isn't just about muscles or size. Strength is helping others when they need it, even if it's hard." "That's all I know." She looked at him, her eyes searching. There was a wisdom in his voice, a calmness that contrasted sharply with the chaos of the forest around them. Slowly, she realized that humans could be brave in ways her people had never considered. They could face fear with compassion, and that was a kind of strength all its own. During the day, Ethan taught her simple exercises to regain mobility. At first, she struggled to move without pain, but his encouragement never faltered. "One step at a time," he said. "We'll get there together." And indeed, step by step, her confidence grew. Their conversations drifted from simple instructions to stories of their worlds. Lyra told him about the Varelian palace, the floating gardens, the elegant towers that reached into the sky. Ethan shared tales of Earth, of oceans, forests, and bustling cities. They laughed over simple misunderstandings, words that sounded strange in each other's tongues, gestures that seemed polite in one culture but odd in another. As the storm clouds cleared, the forest around them seemed to transform. Birds with glowing feathers returned to the trees, and soft light filtered through the canopy. Lyra could walk short distances without aid, each step a triumph. And with each step she felt her gratitude and respect for Ethan deepen. The day came when Ethan helped her stand fully, without leaning on the splint. She looked around the grove, now peaceful and bright, and then at him. You have done something no one else could," she said. "In my world, a human could never save a princess." "You did most of the work," Ethan said modestly. "I just guided you." Lyra shook her head. "You risked your life for me. Not for honor, not for reward, but because you chose to. That is remarkable." Ethan smiled, feeling warmth spread through him at her words. He had expected gratitude, yes, but not this depth of understanding. He had never thought of himself as extraordinary, only as someone who did what was right. Yet Lyra's eyes reflected admiration, something he had rarely seen in anyone. By the time the Varelian royal guards arrived to retrieve the princess, the bond between Ethan and Lyra had grown strong. They marveled at the human's skill and courage. The court whispered among themselves, astonished that such a delicate being could save the life of their princess. Lyra's father, the king, regarded Ethan with a mixture of caution and respect. "Your actions are unprecedented," the king said. "A human has saved a Varelian royal. This is a story that will be told for generations." Lyra stood tall, her injury fully healed, yet her mind was focused on the healer. "Father, he risked everything for me." "He deserves more than your praise. He deserves our trust." The king nodded, acknowledging her words. It was rare for a Varelian to speak so boldly in court, but the truth was undeniable. Ethan had proven himself. As Ethan prepared to leave with the guard's guidance, Lyra stopped him. "Wait," she said. "I am not done with you. There is something you need to know. Something I will give you when the time is right." Ethan looked at her, curious but patient. "I'll wait," he said. Lyra smiled, a rare and genuine expression that lit up her face. "Good," she said softly, "because what I have to give, it is unlike anything you have known." Ethan felt a mix of anticipation and wonder. He had come to Scythera to observe and help, never imagining that he would form such a bond with an alien princess. Yet here he was, trusted by royalty, admired for his courage, and standing at the edge of something extraordinary. As he looked at the forests stretching endlessly beyond the palace walls, he realized that heroism was not just about saving lives. It was about understanding, compassion, and forging connections that crossed worlds. And in that realization he felt a quiet hope, the hope that his actions had not only healed a princess, but had also begun something much larger than either of them could yet imagine. Ethan took a deep breath, letting the alien air fill his lungs. He had faced fear and uncertainty, yet he had not faltered. And as he met Lyra's gaze once more, he knew that the adventure was far from over. The gift she promised, whatever it might be, was already a symbol of trust and friendship that would echo across the stars. For the first time, Ethan understood that being human did not mean being weak. It meant being capable of courage, of kindness, and of forming bonds that could change worlds. And in saving the alien princess, he had proven exactly that. Ethan followed Lyra through the shimmering halls of the Varelian palace, his eyes wide with awe. The walls glowed with soft, pulsating light, and delicate gardens floated in midair, their plants suspended as if weightless. Streams of liquid crystal curved along the floor, reflecting the colors of the twin suns outside. Every detail spoke of elegance, intelligence, and a harmony that felt almost magical. Lyra walked beside him with grace, her earlier pain completely gone. Her once injured leg moved freely, yet she still cast occasional glances at Ethan, as if measuring how far he had come, not just physically, but in understanding her world. "You have never seen anything like this on Earth," she said, her voice gentle yet carrying a quiet pride in her own people. "I have seen mountains, oceans, forests, but nothing like this," Ethan replied, his voice tinged with wonder. "It feels alive." "It is alive," Lyra said. "Everything here is connected. Every plant, every creature, every element works together. Our world thrives on balance." Ethan nodded, taking in the beauty around him. He thought about how fragile yet resilient life was everywhere he had been. And now, standing here, he understood that healing was not just about fixing a body. It was about respecting the life around you. Lyra led him to a chamber at the heart of the palace. The room was circular, with walls that seemed to ripple like water. In the center, a pedestal held a small crystal that glowed softly, its light shifting through shades of blue and silver, the same colors as Lyra's skin. "This is where I will give you your gift," she said, her eyes reflecting the crystal's glow. "It is not gold nor jewels nor technology. It is something far more meaningful, something that can change how you see life." Ethan stepped closer, his curiosity mixed with caution. "What is it?" he asked. Lyra smiled. "It is a Varelian gift of bonding. Only a few are ever chosen to receive it. Once bonded, it connects to your body and mind in a way that enhances your abilities as a healer. You will feel the pain of those around you, understand their needs, and know how to help them in ways you never could before." Ethan's brow furrowed. The idea was overwhelming, almost frightening. He had always relied on his knowledge, his skill, and his instinct. To suddenly feel the life of others as his own, it was a responsibility he could not take lightly. "Do I have to accept it?" he asked softly. "No," Lyra replied. "It is a gift, not a command. I offer it freely because you earned it, not because it is expected. The choice is yours." Ethan took a deep breath, weighing the offer. He had spent years learning to heal, to help others. This crystal could make him more than a healer. It could make him a bridge between species, a link between worlds. Yet the weight of responsibility pressed on him. Finally, he nodded. "I accept," he said. Lyra's eyes brightened, and she placed the crystal in his hands. Its surface was cool, smooth, and yet it seemed almost alive, pulsing gently as if recognizing him. The moment he touched it, a warm sensation spread through his body, a tingling that reached his fingertips and toes. He felt connected, not just to Lyra, but to every living being in the palace, the gardens, and the forest beyond. "You will feel the world differently," Lyra said softly, "but you will also understand it more deeply. Use it wisely." Ethan closed his eyes, letting the sensation wash over him. He felt the heartbeat of the palace, the soft pulse of the air, the subtle vibrations of the plants. Every life had a rhythm, a song, and he could hear it now. He opened his eyes, looking at Lyra, and saw that she too felt the bond. Her eyes glimmered with gratitude, awe, and something else he could not name. Over the next several days, Ethan learned to control and interpret the crystal's connection. He could sense injuries before they became serious, understand pain without words, and even detect stress or discomfort in creatures he had never seen before. Lyra observed him with amazement, noting how he adapted quickly, how his compassion combined with this new ability made him an even greater healer than he had ever been on Earth. Their bond grew stronger as well. The crystal did more than enhance Ethan's skills. It connected their emotions in subtle ways. He could feel her trust, her relief, her growing admiration, and she could sense his dedication, his humility, and the gentle courage that had first drawn her trust. One afternoon, as they walked through the palace gardens, Lyra spoke. "Ethan, I have seen many humans, but you are different. You do not seek power or glory or wealth. You only wish to help. That is why this bond works with you. That is why I chose you." Ethan smiled faintly. "I didn't choose to be extraordinary, I just tried to do what was right." Lyra laughed softly. It was a sound like wind through crystal trees, light and melodic. "That is exactly what makes you extraordinary." Word of Ethan's abilities soon spread throughout the Varelian city. People came to him seeking his help. He treated illnesses, eased pain, and even assisted in calming minor disputes by sensing tension and guiding conversations. All the while, he remained humble, never forgetting that his gift was meant to serve, not to elevate him. One evening, Lyra brought him to a balcony overlooking the twin suns setting. The sky was painted in shades of orange, purple, and gold. The air was warm, carrying the scent of floating flowers and the gentle hum of the city below. "You have changed more than just my life, Ethan," Lyra said, her voice quiet but firm. "You have shown my people that humans are capable of more than they ever imagined. You have bridged two worlds with your actions, and for that I am grateful beyond words." Ethan looked out at the horizon, feeling a sense of peace he had never known. "I only did what anyone would do," he said, though he knew she would not believe him entirely. Lyra reached out and placed her hand over his. The connection from the crystal pulsed softly, a reminder of their bond. You have given me something no one else could, a chance to see humanity through its best qualities. Bravery, compassion, understanding. You have healed not only my body but my heart and my people's hearts as well. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that heroism was not about grand gestures or battles won. It was about choices, small, consistent choices to act with courage and kindness. And in doing so, he had earned the trust and friendship of a princess from another world. Days later, Ethan was officially honored in a quiet ceremony within the palace. The king presented him with a symbolic medallion, acknowledging his courage and the life-saving actions he had taken. Yet the most meaningful gift was not a medal or title, it was the crystal and the bond it represented. It was the understanding that one human could touch the lives of many across worlds, simply by choosing to act with empathy and skill. As Ethan prepared to leave for his exploration pod, Lyra approached him. "You will not be leaving Zythera entirely," she said. "The bond remains. You can return any time and the world will recognize you as a healer, not just to humans but to all life here." Ethan nodded, feeling a profound sense of responsibility and purpose. "I will return," he promised, "and I will do my best to honor the trust you've given me." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the twin suns in the sky. "I have no doubt," she said softly. "You have already done more than anyone could have expected. And for that, I will always be grateful." As he boarded his pod and looked back at the palace, Ethan realized that his life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. He had come to Zythera as a healer, unassuming and small in a vast universe. He was leaving as a bridge between species, a symbol of hope, and a bearer of a gift that could touch countless lives. The pod lifted into the sky, the forests and palace shrinking below him. And yet the bond remained, the crystal's gentle pulse reminding him that his actions, his choices, and his courage had created something far greater than he had ever dreamed. He was more than a human healer now. He was a force for understanding, compassion, and connection, carrying the gift of trust and friendship across the stars. Ethan leaned back in his seat, feeling a quiet satisfaction. He had saved a princess, yes, but he had also discovered a truth larger than any mission or adventure, that the smallest acts of kindness, when guided by courage and empathy, could create ripples that reached across galaxies. And somewhere on Zythera, Lyra watched the sky, knowing that the human who had healed her would forever remain part of her world and her heart.